Hello, everybody. My name is Christopher Smith, and I'll be discussing three articles from the Classics book. And the three authors we'll be talking about is Gulick, Mertens, and Maslow. So Luther, in his article Notes on the Theory of Organization, he talks about a few challenges and a few aspects of key principles of organization. So whether it's managing the organization as a manager or just the organization overall. And some of these include planning, staffing, coordinating, and budgeting. But specifically, I want to talk about the coordination. So he says the question of coordination, therefore, must be approached with different emphasis in small and in large enterprises, in simple and in complex situations, in stable and in new or changing organizations. So I found this interesting because he highlights the importance of coordination, and he talks about that coordination should be evaluated not all the same. It should be evaluated whether the organization is small or large. He says that in small organization, it might be easier to manage because there are fewer people. There is not as many tasks going on, so the situation is pretty simple. And he says in large enterprises, the organization has to be stronger. It has to be different because there's a level of stability that changes. So in large organization, there's more people, there's more complex situations, and the organization is constantly changing. So I guess we could see this in real life. An example we could use is like a smaller city compared to a bigger city. An organization in the city of Irvine will be different than organization in the city of, let's just say, city of Whittier. So his theory is that these cities need to be a little bit more coordinated, have to be more managed for the size of it, the size of the city, and even just the complex situations that they deal with, having more citizens, having more workers, having more bigger budget. So that's what he talks about. In the article Bureaucratic Structure and Personality, Merton argues that the bureaucratic structures have unintended consequences. And we see bureaucratic structures in government, in most organizations. And one of the um, one of the consequences he talks about is goal displacement. And in this quote, he says, adherence to the rules, originally conceived as a means, becomes transformed into an end in itself. There occurs a familiar process of displacement of goals whereby an instrumental value becomes a terminal value. So what he's talking about here is that over time, the main goal is not what the desired outcome was before, what the original goal of the organization was. The end goal now is just to follow the rules and to follow procedures. So at the end, he's saying that the goals are lost. He's saying it is a goal displacement because there is nothing to follow. There is no really, um, there's really no goal except just following, like I said, the procedures and the rules. So the original purpose, like serving a public or even just the goal of the the organization becomes lost because the priority is just following a routine that's going to continue and they become displaced at the end. Maslow argues in his article, A Theory of Human Motivation, he argues that humans have needs, and he organizes them into five levels. The first one is psychological needs, safety needs, love and belonging, esteem needs, and at the end, it's self actualization. So the way he organizes this is like a pyramid. He begins with psychological needs at the bottom, and all the way at the top, it's self actualization. And this quote right here in from his article says, even if all these needs are satisfied, we still often, if not always, expect that a new discontent and restlessness will soon develop unless the individual is doing what he is fitted for. So, what I found interesting about this is that he said we could have all the needs on this pyramid. So, like I said before, it was the esteem needs, love, safety, and psychological needs. But he says that if we don't reach self-actualization, then we'll never really become fulfilled. We never really met our potential. So I find this interesting because I think in society now, especially in public administration, a lot of us just go to work, we come back home, we go to work, and it becomes a routine, and we begin to feel that yes, we have a family, yes, we have an income, but we don't have a really a fulfillment. The deeper personal potential is not really fulfilled. So this is very interesting, and I think it does relate to public administration because if we don't keep going up higher, if we don't feel like we reached something that we thought we should have reached, then he argues that we will never reach self-actualization. And I think this is interesting because he says also there is no real path to meeting this. Everyone has their own path. So I think it's just interesting to see that um, that not everyone's gonna feel a deeper sense of fulfillment, and we all have to find our own. Thank you.